Hello everybody, this is Convergent Gameplay, and this is not Spelunky. What's happening here? That's right, we're playing a different game today. I finally got another game working, and that game is Kerbal Space Program. It's one of my all-time favorite games, so I can't wait to show it to you all. Now, the basis of Kerbal Space Program is that it is a spaceship simulation game. So you run your own space program, and you try and help these little Kerbals, these little green men, try and get to the stars. You can see here, this guy's on the moon. So, this game has a variety of different aspects about it. I'm going to be playing through it, showing it to you all. We're going to be playing what's called career mode, where it's the most like managing your own space program. You have to take contracts to get money to build rockets and stuff. You have to do scientific research to unlock parts. All that good stuff. We're going to call it YouTube, and we're going to start it. Yeah, I'm doing career mode because it just is the most interesting for YouTube. So here we are at the Kerbal Space Center. It is very beautiful, and it is where the magic happens, as they say. So, there's a variety of different important buildings here. There's the vehicle assembly building, where you build your rockets. There's the launch pad. There's a little runway for launching planes. There's mission control, a little research and development lab, all kinds of great stuff. But first, we're going to be going to mission control to get our contracts, because this is where you take those. We can only have 2 right now, but when we get to upgrading these buildings, when we get enough money, which you can see up here, we can upgrade the buildings to, get more perks and stuff. When you upgrade this, you can get more active contracts. So right now we're going to take 2. Get scientific data from the home planet we're on, which is Kerbin. It's not Earth. It's not our solar system. It's different. And then launch our first vessel. So just get something off the ground. It doesn't need to land safely. Just needs to get off the ground safely. But we're going to try and bring it back safely, because there's going to be a person inside. Or rather, a Kerbal. So this is the VAB. Yeah, KSP is pretty interesting in building rockets. You don't have to worry about all the specifics. You're just going to throw down a command pod, which is where our astronaut's going to sit. And it's very Lego-like construction. You just put, this is a Flea solid rocket booster, the RT-5 Flea. And you just put it on, and it's its own little engine. It's similar to Lego. You just snap things on. That's our parachute. We're gonna make sure so he doesn't die, our pilot. And then we're gonna put some fins on so we don't wobble around and tip, because that tipping mid-flight is never good. Just gonna make sure it's straight. And then we're gonna put on some scientific equipment so we can do research. These are what are called mystery goo units. You can just open them up, do some research, see how this mystery goo reacts, and then you get scientific data from it to unlock parts. We're gonna call it the first one. The first one. And our brave pilot is Jebediah Kerman. He is great. He's pretty good at this game. Good at flying things. Hope he doesn't die. So that's our ship, the first one. We're ready to launch. So, taken to your launch pad. Here we are. It's pretty dingy launch pad right now, but it's the best we can afford. We'll get better ones later. So, stability on. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. And there we go. The engine, just at the hit of a spacebar, goes right away. Solid rocket boosters, they are completely contained themselves. They have a fuel tank and they have the engine, and they're just used to kind of give the rocket a kick. I think the SRBs on the space shuttle, they're just designed to get it up through the atmosphere, out of the thinner layers of the atmosphere. Alright, observing the mystery goo. The goo jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. It's nice. And we can do a crew report, which is how the crew feels. The shores look inviting, and you watch the waves roll into the coast from Kerbin's shores. We'll do another mystery goo just to get whatever science we missed. So, yeah, that's how launching goes. When we unlock more parts and get more money and stuff, we can do bigger rockets with more complex parts, but right now, this is the best we can do. We can turn the rocket a little bit, make it glide down some. And then also, on these long trips, we can also use what's called time warp. We can only time warp to 4 times acceleration now, but, we're going down. When we get up into space and stuff, you can time warp faster, which is very convenient because a lot of the trips in this game take years to do, and that's not good for YouTube if you can't speed it up. Alright, getting down to about... Okay. Throwing off the parachute. it won't open fully yet, but then it will open. Okay. Phew. Yeah, it opens about 1,000 meters from the ground or so, but sometimes you get some pretty tense moments like that. And now we're gliding down smoothly to the ground. We can do anything else we need to do until we land? No, no more science. So, 7 meters per second. This should be I don't know if the solid rocket booster can handle that. I hope it can, because there's stuff attached to it. Don't crash. Tip over? Yes, okay, perfect. Oh, frame rate dying. Ew, it cannot handle tipping this thing over. That's not good. Hope the recording's still okay. The goo seems bored. Well, I'm bored of you, goo. If you don't like the way I do science around here, maybe you should just go somewhere else. Whatever goo you are. It's a pretty, KSP's a pretty strange game. It's realistic, definitely realistic, like it's gravity and such, but it's not, like, so realistic. It's not like the planets and stuff. I don't really know how to describe it. I'm doing a terrible job of this. One example I can think of, if it's not being exactly realistic, is like, the planets. The planets are 10 times smaller than they would realistically be. So like Kerbal here, it's tiny. You can basically see the curvature of the planet from the sea. It's interesting. So we got our guy out to do an EVA report, so just, take some data from outside, and now we successfully got him back in. So we can do another crew report. This is our space center. We're home. And then that's all we can do. We can recover the vessel now and see what it gives us. Hopefully enough science to unlock some new parts. 33 science. That's really good. Alright. And then 4,000 funds. Not bad. Proud of that. Alright, so with this science that we earned from doing experiments, we can go to the Research and Development Laboratory. And this is the tech tree. It has every part in the game, all on this huge thing. This is where we are, just these basic parts. And we can unlock new things. So, let's zoom back in. Alright, we can get Basic Rocketry or Engineering 101 for 5 science each. I mean, we can get both. So, Basic Rocketry gives us a liquid fuel engine. Wait. What? That's in a different order. Yeah, the game's 1.1 version just released, and they changed some things, so I guess they changed the order of the tech tree, too. So that's interesting, because that engine's normal right there. And a little fuel tank, and then the RT-10 Hammer solid fuel booster, which is a bigger solid fuel booster. Burns for longer, so let's get that. And there's also Engineering 101, gives us the Science Junior, which is like a materials bay that you can open up and expose different materials and get more science. A Communitron, and a little antenna to transmit data, and then a decoupler to separate spent engines and stuff away from the ship to make it, fly better. Because, say you have 2 boosters on the side of your ship, when they run out of fuel, you don't want to carry them all the way into space, you just drop them, and you can keep going with a lighter ship. So we'll get that too. Alright, and then we have enough to get one other thing. So, there's General Rocketry, where we get another liquid fuel engine, the BACC Thumper solid fuel booster, which is a really big one. It's, like, really tall and such. And then a slightly bigger liquid fuel tank. And we also have Stability, which gives us a nose cone, a winglet, like a bigger fin, and then a radial decoupler, which decouples from the sides, which is what you'd want to use if you had boosters on the sides. And then the Survivability, which gives us a heat shield, a heat radiator, some tiny landing legs, some parachutes, and then a service bay, which just holds things. I'm thinking, there's new stuff here. I was expecting all this. It's probably between survivability and stability, but I'm gonna have to go with survivability because I like things surviving. Alright, so that's about all the science we can get. We can check back at mission control, see what other things we can do. Alright, we can do... This is good. Test the RT-10 Hammer solid fuel booster at the launch site. Gives us a good amount of money and stuff, and it's easy. And escape the atmosphere. Get above 70,000 meters to escape the atmosphere and technically be in space. So we're going to do that too. Hopefully in one launch. So we'll go back to the vehicle assembly building and build our new rocket. It'll be the first one, too. Let's just name it that while I'm thinking of that. The first one, too. Great name. We'll put on... We'll have some pretty advanced parachuting. We're gonna have what are called drogue chutes, which they open up a lot earlier to slow down the craft more before the main engines. It's safe for the main engines to open up, because if you're going too fast when you open up the main engines, they can break off, and then you're kind of in trouble because it's difficult to land without parachutes. Alright, then we just put our science gear on, and then we can put the heat shield on. So let's just change this. Alright. Okay. So this is our little capsule. This is what's going to be going back to Kerbal safely. Then we can put on a decoupler. So when whatever's below it runs out of fuel or whatever, we can just separate it. Then we'll make a liquid fuel stage. So let's have this. The engine. Another decoupler. And then the hammer. Good old hammer. We do not have the fins. Okay. Well, we have the basic fins, but that's okay, because I can work with those. So this is our rocket. Much more complex than the first one, but it will work. And well, at least I'm hoping it'll work. I know it'll probably... We'll get the one contract. I'm just not positive we'll get the other one, the escaping the atmosphere one. I'm hoping we will, though. I'm confident we will. Alright, and for our pilot, we'll just have Jebediah Kerman go again, because the more launches and stuff, the more variety of things you do, the more launches. Like if you go into space, they gain what's called experience. And with experience, they gain more skills, so we want to get a couple pilots and stuff leveled up. Alright. No major problems or anything, it seems. So let's just go. Here's to hoping this works. The first one, too. I forgot to do science on the launch pad, but I'll do that later. Okay. So, the first one, too. Are we ready? We'll open up the map view so we can see... It'll show us, like, our orbit and such. Also the planet. Very pretty. Alright. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch! Alright, immediately fulfill the first contract, and we're off. This is a more powerful, bigger, solid fuel booster, so it'll burn longer. And after that, it's up to our liquid fuel stage. Thing's burning fast. It's almost out of fuel already. That's alright, I didn't expect it to get that far. And... it's empty. A couple stage 1, you see it just down it goes. And light the liquid fuel stage. Excellent. This is a liquid fuel rocket. It burns fuel that's liquid, so it burns liquid oxygen and some combustion fuel, so like liquid hydrogen or methane or something. It burns the liquid oxygen because it needs an oxidizer to burn the other stuff, and you can't get air in space. You can, interesting how these, you can throttle them, so you can increase the flow of fuel to them or decrease it, so you can burn it hotter and faster, but burn more fuel, or burn it slower for less burning. Which is good, because it's really the only way to control it. You can't control SRBs like that. How are we doing on our orbit? We have broken the atmosphere according to our planned orbit. So we're going to tilt to the side some, so that we don't enter the atmosphere dead on, because then that's really hard to slow down. And we're out of fuel. Alright, we'll drop that stage. Orbit's looking nice. I'd prefer it to be a bit more tilted to the side, but what are you going to do? So let's do some stuff. We'll take some mystery goo readings from the upper atmosphere. Nice. Very nice. And, yeah, this is going to be Jebediah Kerman's breaking all kinds of records. Altitude records, distance records, braveness records. And we're going to break the atmosphere pretty soon. Breaking that record. In now. Alright. Jebediah Kerman is the first Kerbal in space. How do you feel, Jeb? He's staring in dazed wonder. How poetic. Alright, 10 science from that. And then, from the materials bay, when we observe them, you get 25 science. The microgravity has greatly affected the growth of crystalline structures. Loose objects are also flying around the bay in a very messy but fascinating way. So that's quite a bit of science for the taking. Get us lots of new toys. And then we'll just get another mystery goo reading. Alright, goo seems to have clumped into a sphere. And space. It seems we're very much in space right now. The sky seems to be mostly below us. Indeed it is. You can see this little planet Kerbal. You can see the moon in the distance. It's a very pretty game. Hoping I won't have to expend too much of the... I'll have to get rid of too many visual perks and stuff to make it run properly. Right, we have... The capsules, they have built-in what are called reaction wheels, which are basically gyroscopes that spin really fast to allow you to turn it and keep it in position. But those use electricity. So we have 50 units of electricity and no way to recharge them yet. You can recharge them with solar panels and stuff like that. We haven't unlocked those yet, so we need to be sparing. Yeah, like I said, this is the nav ball. It points you to various things. For example, this little green circle here is what's called prograde. And that is like the direction you're moving, so the direction of your velocity, and then the opposite of that is retrograde. So the opposite. So if you want to slow down, you'd burn retrograde. And since our heat shield is on the back, oh, we're starting to go down. So the heat shield's on the back down here. You'd want, the capsule to be facing retrograde. And there's also things like normal, anti-normal, radial, anti-radial. It's complicated, but it all will be revealed soon. So. Not much else to do here. We can just time warp back to the planet. Go up to 50 times speed here until we enter the atmosphere. I'm gonna try... Hopefully I can slow down enough. Not positive. Here, let's change our staging so the drogue chutes open earlier. Oh. Oh crap, I staged the drogue chutes. My bad. Can we cancel that? I didn't mean to open up the drogue chutes. They don't appear yet, but... Oh, disarm. Yes. Please disarm. Let me disarm them. Yes, okay. Good. I think good, yes. Alright. That should be good. So we should be hitting... Yep, here we are. We're re-entering the atmosphere, hitting some heat. This is from, like, compressing the atmosphere in front of us and such. But our heat shield's taking the brunt of it. It's what's called an ablative heat shield. In this resourcey ablator here, it's basically just melting off the heat shield and taking the heat away with it, which keeps us from blowing up. There could be a problem with the mystery goo burning up because it's on the sides, but I don't think that should be a problem. Yeah, we're already going subsonic and such, so we're no more heating. We're good. Rapidly slowing down at like 10 Gs. That can't be good for him. And let's put the drogue chutes out. So let's put the drogue chutes out. There we go. Beautiful. Drogue chutes are smaller, they open earlier, and they slow you down, but not by as much. You see, this would be dangerous to land at, but it's perfectly fine for when we deploy the main chute. And Jebediah Kerman becomes the first Kerbal to enter and return from space. We can do a bit more science. The goo escapes into the water. That hopefully won't come back to bite us. And then we can do an EVA report from the water. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? Yeah, I don't think you really need a spacesuit to go out on your home planet. And you can take data and go back in. And we can do another crew report. You record the crew's assessment of the situation. And now we can recover the ship for the I'm sure bountiful supply of science it gives. Yeah, we earned 68 science from that for a total of 92. That is insane. This is going very well. So, let's unlock some new stuff before I'm going to end the episode after this. So, obviously let's get general rocketry and stability. And we have enough to get one of these, which are all 45 science each. So, Typically, I'll get this just because, you know, thermometer can get more science. So I think I'm going to do that. Just going to unlock that. And now we have basic science. So, next time we will launch more rockets, do more contracts, succeed at life. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. It's a great game, I think, and hopefully it's a game you all enjoy. Hoping to upload more of this. Until next time, I'm Kerbal Space Program. No, I'm not. Oh my god. This is Kerbal Space Program. I am Convergent Gameplay. I'm just gonna stop. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and leave a comment, and subscribe for more. If you think you're cool enough, check out my Twitter and my website for updates on videos. This episode was sponsored by Intel, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Third Crusade.